Um, I wanted to start today doing something a little different. A little discussion, I guess. So, hi YouTube and hi Twitch. What's going on? I wanted to talk about the problem with Classic, the air in Classic. I've been having so much fun playing, so I will get that out of the way. I can't say it hasn't been fun, but it has almost. It hasn't even been a week. It's been almost a week, and there's a little bit of dryness in it. And I think the main reason that is the biggest flaw Classic has is that the meta is severely defined. There's no period of learning. Like nowadays, when a new set comes out, there's like this I don't know how long the period is, a month even, where people are figuring out the game and what to do with the game and what to play. And that period is so fun. You get to experience deck building. You get to play decks at not their strongest level because the lists aren't as defined. You don't have accurate data on the meta so that some of it can come more freely and stuff like that. And Classic does not have that. We know what the good classes are. I wanted to play Handlock to experience what it was in the beginning, but you're not experiencing that. You're experiencing the meta that is already realized Handlock is good, and so everybody has Big Game Hunter, and everybody, all the priest decks have Death, and it's like, it's this known entity. So every person you play is playing the top tier decks. It's every 12th game you'll go against something fun. You'll go against a priest or a paladin or some kind of weird combo like warrior or shaman deck or anything like that. But you play druid after druid and you play hunter after hunter, and every now and then you'll play against zoo or handlock, and you're playing in a defined zone. It was so drilled into our heads and everybody had warped it out. And then what's worse is, at least back in the day, you had less knowledge. The game was less popular. There were less websites tracking data. There were less people that were famous. You kind of had a couple big namestays. Let me fix this real quick. You had a couple. Oh man. You had a couple like namestays. Like, you already had Crip and you had Trump and people like that, but you didn't have this abundance of information. You have 1,000 people now that make content. Like, I'm making content, right? And I'm like nobody, but sure, I exist. And so much of this exists where you have all this information. So there's no freshness. There's no, like, obviously that's the point. Like, it's kind of like a nostalgia thing, or it's like a skill testing format or whatever. But that does like draw away slightly the appeal of the, man, all this crazy stuff is happening. All this newness is what does this card do, and how can I make this work? And man, I really like this card. Let me build a deck around it. You can't really do that because you can't face people on ladder doing the same thing. You can't expect to climb playing your homebrew, free to play, blah 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 decks because they don't exist. The people that are interested in Classic are the people that have been playing since Classic, mostly. And the people that have been playing since Classic have the cards and have the resources for the cards. And so they're playing, like, let me open up my deck list or whatever. Like, you have this, and I have all these decks or whatever. How do we make it look? Let's just go to play mode. That looks better. You have all these decks and stuff that are like fun stuff, but like nobody's playing it. It's like this and this and this, like mostly this. That's all you play against. And everybody has those cards. Like, and for the most part, these cards are highly accessible. And you go into like this list and whatever, and oh, maybe you craft Ragnaros or whatever, but you don't even need those things. The cards that you need to play the deck, everybody has. So you play the same thing over and over again. It's the same matchups repeatedly over and over again. And you're trying to have diverse, fun games or whatever to like bring back the nostalgia, and it's just not there. You end up being disappointed over and over again. You end up being like, oh, this again, oh, this again. And it feels, I compare it to I've been comparing it to, for Yu-Gi-Oh players, GOAT format. It's a format from like 2004, which is considered to be like a highly resource-based, skill-based game mode, and it feels like that. It really does. It feels like if you play the Druid Mirror or you play Hunter Druid or whatever, or in the control matchups that are kind of fun, like whatever, they feel like that. You're just trading resource for resource, and you're having to understand how perfectly to hold on to your cards and get the most value out of each of your cards, and then deliver your little combo finishes to face, i.e. kill command with Hunter, i.e. Savage Force combo with Druid, i.e. Leroy, Shadow Step combos with Miracles, and you're running the same game over and over again, but with different decks. Like, even when you're playing a different deck, you're playing the same game plan, you're playing the same win condition. It's just managing the board, dealing face when you can, and then comboing out at the end. And it certainly has its perks, but it's just so monotonous. It's so like, it's not a diverse format. It's not a developing format. It's a known entity. It's a known solved format where we have the best decks. We have the data. We know what everybody's going to play. And I don't know. I don't know how long it can last as like even a form of entertainment, because do I think people in 4 months are going to be watching classic content? No. Why would they? It's going to be the same content. In 4 months, another Hearthstone set will come out. We got one coming out in a couple days. And in 4 months, another Hearthstone set will come out. So are they going to add sets back slowly? Are they going to do this like they did Classic WoW? And they're going to have sets come out slowly, and we're going to get to play Grim Patron again and stuff like that? Maybe. But I don't think so. I think the intent was for this to be this format, like classic format, the OG format, and no one's going to be watching that. It doesn't even change up. Like, duels is dead, right? But at least with duels, as you incorporate like new cards into your deck, you can build differently each time. Like even if I go in and I build the exact same shaman deck every time, the no overload, play the Flameheart, play the weapons, all that stuff, I can get my packages change, and my treasures change, and all that stuff changes every time, right? So it's like it gives you a variety of experience. Classic won't have that. In 4 months, Classic's meta will be mid-range Druid and Face Hunter, Sunshine Hunter. That will be the meta. And it's not like, it doesn't feel like debatable. Like, those are the best decks. We know they are, and they will continue to be. And so I just don't see this format having any staying power. I think there'll be a couple tournaments that are fun to watch. And I think, it'll have its little spark here, but I don't even know if it lasts a month. Like, legitimately. I think content creators like Firebat that are getting their typical views, if not more, on videos for right now will plummet. That in a week's time, they will be significantly less. And then in a month's time, it'll be dead. And that's really sad, because it is fun and it was nostalgic, and I was so excited day one. But I just don't see the staying power, and super disappointing. I guess even though we're streaming, I am at Twitch, sharkmoms_floating mana, link in the description. And if you like the video, and I hope you enjoy.